Hi Joyce, and welcome to the Year of You 2022, all about channeling with your guide. And we're going to be finding out a bit more about channeling and making it as simple as possible and getting into the zone. So have you done much channeling before, or is this something new to you?
Oh, this is relatively new to me.
Brilliant, so I like it. So our aims for today then is to develop skills in channeling as well as get some insight into what 2022 has in store. And as we're a very small group tonight, I know lots of people want it on the recording, and that means that it probably take just less than the hour, and then I'll be uploading it for other people to view as well afterwards. So if you say anything that you want edited out at the end, let me know and I'll sniff it for you.
Okay.
We'll see how we go. So I'm just going to share my screen and just pop a little PowerPoint on just to let us know, first of all, what is channeling. So automatic writing is a form of channeling, and basically you can allow a higher power to create or guide the words you write. It involves allowing spirits, the universe, mind, or your higher self to simply flow through you. It's a psychic gift and one of the easiest types of psychic communication abilities to develop. It involves allowing spirits, the universal mind, or your higher self to simply flow through you. Simply put, automatic writing is a practice of exploration experienced during a trance-like state where the journalist is an observer of the stream of consciousness. During an automatic writing session, the writer allows whatever flows through them to be written or typed onto their chosen medium until the flow ends. So anyone can learn the process, you become the scribe and simultaneously the observer. In many ways, doing automatic writing is like being in the flow whilst writing, and I'll give you this PowerPoint at the end so that you'll be able to have a look at that link on there as well, which just simplifies it somewhat.
Okay.
Right. So first exercise is quite a short one and not actually going to link directly to getting in the zone with your guides, because I really want to just look at how simple it is basically to let the writing flow through you without doing anything else. So my background in writing is I've always been a keen writer, and I've got a couple of book publishing deals, which is really exciting. So I'm doing lots of writing at the moment, which is great. I've always loved writing. I've got my blog and academic writing as well. And before my spiritual awakening, I was really, really confused as to why I would suddenly get words coming into my head when I was in the zone. It's like, oh, where's that come from? I didn't even really know that to start with. Or when I was on the phone to parents, stuff would just randomly come into my head, like really good ideas that I had never thought of before. So I realised that actually that I was channeling then, but I just didn't know what it was. I just thought it was quite cool that I could get all these random ideas in my head and then pass them on to other people. So when I started this journey with Carly, it really resonated with me with the automatic writing side of things. Unfortunately, with education the way it is, it just means that the creativity has been shoved out of the writing. So people are focusing a lot more on the mechanics rather than the creativity in the curriculum. So that's a bit of a shame, and hopefully something that we can get back in future curriculums. So I've just got a few do's and don'ts to make it a bit easier. So I'll just share my screen again. Let's move that. Okay, so we do let it flow. Do use your gut instinct. Do trust your intuition. Do write the first thing that comes to mind. Don't think too deeply, otherwise your ego will take over. And don't worry about spelling, handwriting, grammar, or punctuation. You can kind of decipher it at the end, basically. So few do's and don'ts there to help you let it flow a bit more. So our task is going to be writing a letter to your 18-year-old self. So telling your 18-year-old self what you think that they ought to know and what would help them on their journey if they knew then what you know now. Probably quite a lot.
Okay. yeah, okay.
So we're not going to explicitly connect for this, we're just going to go for it and concentrate on getting the flow. So basically, the more you practice the journaling, the writing, the easier it will become. I mean, if you're not a writer and you'd rather speak it, it might be that you could have an app on your phone to record stuff and you can channel it that way instead. There's nothing to say it has to be written, for example. So is there any questions before we go?
Okay. Well, no, I'll try, but I'm not a really prolific writer. You know, I don't really keep diaries as such or anything like that. It sort of scares me a little bit writing.
Okay, we've got to let it out. I reckon maybe today's the day for letting it out.
We'll see. We'll see.
Okay, so if you want to knock your camera off, and then I'll put a 5-minute timer on, and then we'll come back in 5 minutes.
Okay.
So I'll give you a minute's warning when to finish your last sentence. Okay.
Okay.
About 1 minute to go. Okay, can I finish the sentence you're on and come back in the room? I sound like a teacher.
Where are you? Oh, hold on. There you go. Okay. Oh, yeah, sorry. Okay.
Right, so how did that go? How did it flow to start with?
Well, I did a page.
Okay.
So
Armake, if you write to, I do, because I type so much, I get Armake.
yeah, I don't know. I didn't really try not to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if I can read me writing back. But, yeah.
Did you get some insight that your 18-year-old self would have helped?
Yeah. It was just basically, don't listen to others.
Yeah.
Follow your heart. Don't listen to others. Follow your heart. You are fine just the way you are.
And yeah, those are messages that you could have really done with at 18 as well, isn't it? Because you don't really know where you're going.
No, it's just, and you worry, you see, about doing the right thing, or as you grow, people have certain expectations, but that's their expectations, not yours. And really, you shouldn't listen to what society or whatever thinks about you or expects of you. You should just do what's true to you, really. Mm. Even though that might go against what other people think you should be doing.
It's tricky at school as well, isn't it, with peer pressure and things. And I think mine was all about the looking at the negatives, but actually learning from the negatives. And there will be negative times, but you will grow from those experiences. Whereas at the time, you won't realise that you're growing. It'll be horrible. Yeah. In hindsight.
But you just think you're just there, and the world revolves around you being that age, and it's no sort of, you can't see beyond that.
Yeah.
Because you haven't got the capability really at that age to see.
No, your world's quite small, isn't it? And
yeah, it's like a bit like this too shall pass. It's so things get so big, So it's like what they say: don't sweat the small stuff.
Yeah.
Because it really is of no consequence.
Definitely. And now, I don't worry about things such as much as I did when I was 18. Goodness. Let it all go. So, you were channeling there. Well, you probably didn't realise. I think everybody channels when they write. They just don't realise that they're doing it. So, just to show that. Yeah, okay. I think everything comes through. I think there's bits in there that are always channeled. That's my thoughts. Even if you're not spiritual, stuff will come in and be like, "Where's that from?" And it might be your guide just putting a earworm in your ear, and then you write it down. So the next exercise is, is there any questions before we move on? Or are you okay?
No, that's fine.
Okay, lovely. And a good pupil, well done. So for the next exercise, we're just going to take a moment to relax and get into the zone. So I'll take you on a guided meditation to meet your guide and then leave you to write for 15 minutes. So it's up to you whether you use the whole 15 minutes, but I'll let you know when that time's up, and I'll chop it out of the video as well for the people that are, rather than having our cameras off for 15 minutes, look at upload that way. Okay. So if you could write the title, what do I need to know to move forward in 2022?
Okay. What do I need to move forward in 2022?
Yeah, I'm going to share my screen again, because I've got some top tips for doing this, because whenever there's a meditation that starts you off, I find it easier to meditate in a position that you're going to be writing in afterwards, to hold your pen.
Okay.
Otherwise, you finish your meditation and you're kind of scrabbling around to find your pen and paper. So it's simpler for me that if you want to have it near you while you're meditating, or get your app ready to record if you're someone that would prefer to record it. And one of the ladies in the last session said, "Oh, I do it with my eyes closed. Is there any right or wrong?" I was like, "Well, no, just you can do it with your eyes closed if you want to." I find that I can't write in a straight line if that's the case, so I generally do it with my eyes open. But you can do either or if you want to.
Okay.
Some people find their hands moves without them doing anything, and some don't. Mine never moved, but that's not to say it won't in the future. We'll wait and see. But it works for me. It goes in my brain first. So I get the words in my brain and then I write them down. So I think the more and more you do it, the quicker that process comes through. But when
Okay.
you start out, it might be a sort of a slower brain to hand kind of action. And
Right.
I find it helps to start with a generic sentence first, or one or two sentences, just to get you into the zone. So once you're in the process, your intuition will kick in. So it's a bit like drawing a tarot card and just having that prompt. And in that kind of, then your brain, sort of your ego doesn't come in, and you kind of get into the flow. So you pick up your tarot card and you go, oh, it's this, and this means this. And then suddenly your brain goes, and it all starts coming out. So it's the same with this. So I might write for my first sentence, the thing I need to know in 2022 is, and then hopefully by the time you've written that, then stuff will start coming in basically.
Okay.
So if you start to lose the flow, go back, take a couple of deep breaths again, and then just start with another generic sentence, and then just go again, basically.
Okay.
No right or wrong answers, but all messages are from love and they're positive. So anything negative will be your ego kicking in. So go back to the deep breaths and let it come from your intuition rather than your ego.
Okay.
So if you want to knock your camera off again, and then I will do the meditation, and then I'll mute us for 15 minutes so we can do that. Okay, great. If you make sure you're in a nice relaxed position. I'm just going to breathe in, hold it at the top, and breathe out. Breathe in again, and hold, and breathe out. And once more, breathing in, and holding, and breathing out. So our journey is going to take us to a mountaintop today, and all is silent and still. Let's let go of all the stresses and strains of the day. As you start to climb the mountain, the source light is coming down from above and radiating through you. It starts in your crown, moves down to your third eye, moving down to your throat and your heart. The light radiates through your solar plexus and down to your sacral and your root. Next, it spreads back down to connect with Mother Earth. You can hear the steady beat of your heart and your footsteps on the earth. It's a beautiful day. You can feel the light breeze on your face. You smell the fresh meadow grasses. You're aware of birds singing in the distance. As you climb, various guides are on their way to walk with you and encourage you on this journey. Take a moment to listen to some of their messages. Presently, you arrive at the top. Take a moment to take in the view. You see a mossy seat and sit in it. It is soft and warm. Take a moment to get comfortable. Ask the guide who can best help with channeling to step forward, or your main guide if you prefer. Take a moment to meet your guide. Say hello and thank them for coming. Take a moment to consider the process and ask your higher self and guides to support you with flow and any elements of the task that might be a challenge to you. I'm now going to leave you here for about 10 minutes. In your own time, open your eyes, take a relaxing breath, and start your writing. As our time draws to a close, we'll start to finish our writing. We thank our guides for being with us today and look forward to working with them again. Once you've finished your section, please come back to the group. Group of 2.
Okay, that was quite interesting.
Oh, good. So, a couple of bits for feedback then.
Okay.
First of all, how did you find the process?
It was actually quite easy. I thought I didn't sort of get stuck anywhere. Well, I got stuck once and I went back to the sentence and started writing the sentence again. And then it just went off again. So I only got to, what would I need to, and then it went on off to something else. So that was a really good idea to bring me back to being centered to go off.
Yeah.
So, and it's sort of like, I mean, I did 2 pages there.
Oh, wow.
Which I'm quite surprised at myself. Yeah, and it was positive. It was, I mean, I look back and I think that's a really positive, a really positive.
To reread it in like 2 months' time as well and just see how that's actually impacted and how it's actually panned out. Interesting.
Yeah, it'd be really interesting. Yeah.
Which guide? Can I ask which guide you met? What was your guide like?
Oh, okay. Well, this is really weird, and it's probably because he's recently died, and it was the monk. It was the monk who's just died. The mindfulness from Vietnam, and I can't remember his name.
I don't know.
Okay, so he's recently passed on, and he's in his 90s, and he's the father of mindfulness.
Wow.
And he's written, hundreds of books and everything. I don't really know him, by the way, but it's just that I was reading about him the other day when he passed, and he came in.
Making himself useful, then. That's good.
Yeah, and it was like, because he just came in with mindfulness. So yeah. So normally I don't get people, to be quite truthful, coming in or anything like that. I just sort of feel an energy, or I don't even know the guides or anything.
Maybe he's your writing guide, and you can always use him when you write.
Yeah. Well, I think he's quite good.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah, because at one point I went a little bit sort of poetic, and that's not like me at all. And I was quite surprised when I went a little bit poetic.
Oh, lovely.
So I don't know where that bit came from.
So what's your main area of focus then from what you've come out with today, do you think?
Okay, so the main area of focus is, first of all, it's got to be just move forward. You've just got to move forward. Open the space up. You've got this opportunity to open, the space has been opened for you to move forward. Got to believe. You just got to believe in yourself and your abilities. And the skill set that I've got, where to go with that, which is again a bit odd because it did come out with touch, came out hugely in this bit of writing, and it's sort of, there was a passage about touch in it.
That's where your passion is, isn't it? So
yeah, and it's like, it's because it was like literally like you have to touch people, because literally for the power of touch is immeasurable to one who lacks it.
Wow, that's profound, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people
just say,
yeah,
that's not like me. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
A lot of people go through their lives without being touched by anybody. If they're single and they've got no children, that's it, isn't it?
And how important. But isn't that lovely? For the power of touch is immeasurable to one who lacks it, and to travel where those are unable to go to them.
Got tingles.
How lovely is that?
Yeah, you should frame that. You should type it up and frame it.
Isn't that, yeah, seriously, where has that come from? Because that's not me. I mean, you know me, you know. And there's another bit like a running stream, and about how it and about the spaces within the months and what they're for, to use as spaces, and how quickly it flows. And it's like a little bit like a running stream, and about when you encounter obstacles, you flow around, be like a running stream.
Oh.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I'm really glad it worked for you.
Yeah, I'm really surprised, by the way. That has really surprised me, because I've come up with a couple of things there which really isn't me, you know. So that was quite an experience for me, because I didn't know what to expect. And as I said at the very beginning, I think I'm a little bit rubbish at writing and stuff like that.
Well, not anymore, because you've got guides helping you.
I've got my guide. Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah. Extra tools in your toolkit.
Yeah,
next time you're writing a letter of complaint, you can call your complaint guide in.
Your complaint guide. Oh, I don't complain. I don't complain. Yeah. Oh, that was really interesting. So thanks for doing that. That was really interesting. And it's really nice because you can pick that up at any time.
Yeah. Oh, it's the sort of thing that you can do anytime. I mean, you don't need a big meditation to get into it, because when you get into it more and you do it regularly, you just take a couple of breaths and go for it, and just it's that starting sentence that's just fix you into where you need to be, where your brain needs to be, and then you're kind of off after that. So don't get hung up on the meditation. But it's nice to get into the zone, but it's not necessary. So.
Yeah, it's just sort of letting go, isn't it?
Brilliant.
Right.
Well, I'm going to stop the recording there, and I know a few people want to watch it back, so I'm really willing to have any feedback that anyone's got for me as well, in order to improve future sessions. So thank you very much for joining me, Joyce. And
all right. Thanks so much, Lynn. That was really good. That was really educational. Thank you.
So those of you that are watching the replay, I just thought I'd take the opportunity to say thank you very much for watching, and any feedback would be most welcome. And also, if you'd like to join me on my journey to starting self-employment very soon, I'm just sorting out my website at the moment. If you want to follow along, my Facebook details are there, and that's going to be the website address as well. If you are interested in having a look, hopefully that's going to be up and running in the next 2 weeks. So thank you very much, and I'm hoping to see you and work with you again soon. Bye.